Come on, Ra. I need more life, bro. Get into it. Get into it, Ra. Get into it.
There was no disclaimer for this.
What is up, Moljo members? We are in month, who knows, of quarantine. We've got our Zoomcast coming your way for the month of June. Wow.
Wow.
June.
How bad did you wish it was May?
Wow, it's June already. So, hello everyone. I hope you are doing well and have adjusted to this new, hopefully temporary norm, and things in life have started to settle down a bit. And let's check in with the team. How's everybody doing?
Just fabulous.
Great.
Hey,
We're doing, man.
Good, good. So we got a lot of stuff in store today, some talking points we've got. Definitely want to talk about some strategies to adjusting to the new norm, right? We're probably in about like week 10 or 11 of this quarantine. And at this point, I feel like everyone's kind of adjusted to what life is like. And I'm curious to know what life is like for people. What are you doing to help time pass? What are you doing to, feel some enjoyment, some excitement? What are we watching on Netflix? For those of us who are, maybe facing some challenges, what have you started to incorporate in your life that are helping you overcome those challenges? But most importantly, I think we should start talking about, our programming, our classes, and maybe some things that we found most beneficial from, the change in doing virtual sessions and spending a lot more time focused on bodyweight exercises, mobility drills, and things of that sort. So at this point, right, I think everyone kind of feels that this is what life is, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Can't necessarily do much. I'm sure it's not the most exciting and ideal situation for everyone, but, being optimistic at Team Moljo is one of our core values. And what are you doing to maintain an optimistic mindset? What are you doing for enjoyment? What's the most exciting part of your guys' day and week?
Exercise.
working out.
Is it like 9 a.m. and 5:30, something like that? Or
Yeah.
Right, but there's got to be some other stuff, right? I know some of you guys got to be, I know Steve's probably killing it in Madden, right? Killing it in some video games. We've got some net. What else you guys have been doing?
Started using Audible.
Oh, what are you listening to?
Right now I'm listening to The Four Agreements, but I just finished The Simple Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
I'm on it right now.
Simple or subtle? Subtle.
Subtle, my bad.
Literally, it's what's pulled up on my phone.
I just finished it like a week ago. Thanks to Katie for sharing her Audible account with me.
How was it?
The friends are for. I'm listening.
I was
to,
never big.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm listening to the Phil Jackson book, 11 Rings.
Oh,
It's been really entertaining.
I'll write that down.
Yeah. It's like 10 and a half hours long, so.
Yeah.
But it's, it's like flying by, super, super enjoyable, and just, he goes into depth, starts at like in the 60s and 70s in professional basketball, and like goes into that, which was super interesting. And now he is on to his early days with the Bulls.
Nice.
So.
Got some good readings and good listenings to get through time. And I definitely think, there's got to be some positives, right? Like your life now compared to what life was like before quarantine, right? We'll call that BQ, like what life was like BQ. But, what's life for you like now? And like, what's one thing that you have found like more enjoyable about, life during quarantine, and are hopeful that maybe you can continue to do that? And for me, it's probably been days start a little bit later, right, and finish a little bit earlier, right? So my day normally doesn't start till about like 7:30, and I'm done usually around like 4:30, with the exception of like the online class. So for the first time, I've got to feel what like a full-time job really feels like, about 8-9 hours a day, other than, spending 10 to 12, sometimes 13 hours at the gym. So for me, that's been kind of a treat over the last, 10, 11 weeks. And the goal is to try and maybe carry that a little bit further going into life after quarantine. But also, I was being pretty consistent with stretching every single day. And I literally get to stretch for at least like 45 minutes to an hour every single day. So, and it's felt great. And I'm hopeful that I can keep that in my routine and in my schedule when we do kind of get back to a little bit more normalcy.
Yeah, you've got like a little bit extra time to be a little selfish. You know what I mean? It's like kind of how you spend those hours. I mean, it's like you could spend that time like scrolling through social media. I know a lot of people just have like nothing else to do. It's easy to stare at your phone, but it's kind of like how you use your hours in general. Like if you were kind of a crappy planner like before the quarantine, it's probably pretty tough for you to adjust and like use those hours for yourself. But say if you, at the end of your day, like you come home at 8 at night, you might have like 30 minutes to yourself, you prep dinner. So like if you're already kind of using that time, now you have double, triple, quadruple that. So like you said, like stretching an hour a day, like if you weren't meal prepping, if you like not having enough time for some people almost isn't an excuse anymore. You know what I mean? So you have the time to do these things. So it gives you a chance to kind of explore either avenues you didn't have time for, or, find new hobbies, but it's definitely got its positives. It depends what you look at.
Yeah, I think there was like almost like a nice way, like more time to like hold yourself accountable. Since having so much free time, it's like you can almost make appointments with yourself like throughout the week. Like you're gonna have like 1 hour here, like you block that off to maybe, exercise, go for a walk, and like besides for emergencies, that's you have the time to do it, like that's your time. Like I know for my like every Sunday night now, like I do yoga for like half hour, 45 minutes, and it becomes something that like you look forward to now. Like I look forward to like end my week, start the new week. And it just makes you realize that when you do actually set aside time for yourself of things that you always told yourself you were going to do that maybe you didn't have time for before all this, it really like helps you keep a positive mindset.
What about Big Dog? What's life like over there?
Who are you talking to?
Come on. It's not Mel. You know that.
Oh, offensive. Offensive. I kind of like everyone's saying, you have a lot more time. But I'm filling that with craftsmanship, building stuff, looking for projects around the house.
Let's see one.
You built.
Let's see one.
Well, I'm about to put a rack together, see how that goes. A couple weeks ago, my dad and Darnell, we built a shelf in the garage. It's not something I would sell, or it's not to code, but it serves its purpose for Darnell's Jeep top. And our current project is a fire pit in the backyard. That's definitely a month or two, because my workers are kind of slow. But just the simple stuff is just more family time. Gives me a lot of opportunities to find some growth in my professional life. So.
Hello, what about you?
Yeah, kind of like what Ross said. A lot of family time for sure, which since the beginning has always had its positives and negatives. But for the most part, it's a lot of fun getting to do more things with my family throughout the day. I'd like to say we are doing house projects, but it's really my dad is doing projects in the house, and I'm just there. But now learning how to, I guess, redo a bathroom, so that's cool for him. But we also, we've gone on hikes, and I'm trying to get out more and do more hikes that are open and I guess legal to do. So I think that's something I'm spending a lot of my free time doing, is trying to get outside as much as possible and just enjoying, like, everything's not as crowded anymore. So like when I go on a hike, it's not like 400 people are going up and down a mountain. I get to actually enjoy some space and time, like doing my thing up there and, enjoying the outdoors. So that's what I'm starting to fill my free time up with, as not like today, but most days the weather's been pretty good. And the rest of my free time I'm starting to fill with studying and just getting better at everything I've been doing. A lot of lacrosse stuff, coaching wise, but I've been doing as much studying as possible and trying to learn as much as I can to just get better at what I'm doing.
Right. Miss Katie?
I feel kind of bad because I feel like there are a lot of people who are like suffering through quarantine, and I feel like for me it's just been this like awesome experience where I get to do everything that I want to do, because that didn't really involve much of the outside world to begin with. So I have been gardening, I've been going for walks. I've walked like almost 122 miles this month. Also, shout out to all of our members doing their May miles. Listening to a ton of stuff on Audible. I'm reading a fictional book I've been reading before I go to sleep, which is like super relaxing and something that I always wanted to do, but never really had the energy to do. I don't know, just being home, like doing projects around my house, spending a lot more time with my niece and my sister. Just like a very wholesome feeling. I don't know. It's been great. I miss all of our members, all my friends, and I know that we'll be seeing each other soon, so that makes it easier, but just trying, to stay in like the present moment, not think about the future, what it's going to look like, how different it's going to be, or, what the past was like and how great that was, but just trying to like take it one day at a time.
Right. Yeah, and I think it's important to kind of live in the moment, because I think we can all agree that, to some extent, this quarantine has probably had some effect on, our mental health and the mental health of our members as well, right? The uncertainty of, what life's going to be like. Maybe you were unemployed, lost a job, maybe you had a family member who was sick, a friend who was sick, right? Everyone knows somebody that was probably negatively affected by this situation, and perhaps you were negatively affected by the situation. And without a doubt, it's going to have some type of, effect on your mental health. And I think it's important for us to have things that we can revert to help improve that, right? So we're listening to positive things on Audible, we're getting out, we're going for walks. It's definitely a big boost of positivity to sign in for a class and see everyone's faces, check in on everyone. Teaching the virtual classes are actually like pretty fun, because we get to like do majority of the workout. And so usually when we teach classes like in the facility, it's more of like coaching and like cueing, whereas now like in the virtual setting we get to like experience the workouts a lot more. So those are all things that have been super helpful for my mental health and for our members, right? We want to make sure that you guys are in a positive mindset. You guys have like a bunch of tools you can kind of revert to, but mostly understand that you've got a big group of people that you can reach out to that are here to talk to you, help you out, and, help get you through this if you find yourself struggling in any way, shape, or form. So remember, check your mental health, make sure you're okay, reach out to other people, make sure that they're okay, and do what you can to make sure that people are happy. Smile a day, laugh every single day, and check in on your loved ones and your friends and make sure everyone's kind of getting through this well. Anybody want to add to that? I know mental health is pretty important to all of us. So
Yeah, it's super important. I started like taking maybe like 5 minutes at the beginning of the day and before I go to sleep to meditate. That's more like a guided meditation to start like for beginners, but I downloaded this app that's 10% happier, which is great if you are like considering to start meditation. It's really, really helpful to kind of like self check-ins and keep like a positive mindset. But it's great. Like there's different topics, whether you want to do like wake up in the morning, if you're sitting having coffee or going to sleep, there's, gratitude ones. There's just like self-love, but you could choose maybe like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It makes it really convenient for however much time you want to start with. But yeah, mental health, it's just all about, taking care of yourself first, watering the tree so it can grow fruit.
Oh, I see what you did there. Anybody else want to talk on that?
I think Mello kind of touched on it briefly. And then something that I don't know if the rest of you guys can do, because like we're living at home with our parents, Steve possibly too. So there's a lot of people, a lot of emotions, different happening at different times. So those people that are living with a lot of people at home and stuck with a lot of people at home, taking that time for yourself, kind of like Jess is saying, but also just like removing yourself. It's like doing your own thing, maybe going on your own walk. So I found myself going outside for like an hour, 2 hours. I'd chop wood, or I'd work out by myself, even though like we all took class together. I'd go work out again, stay a little bit. So just kind of finding that alone time, even though you do want the family time and togetherness, especially like 6, 7 people living in a house, you're going to go crazy eventually. So just to help each other out. And then also telling each other what's going on. Like, don't leave stuff on your mind. So a big part of mental health is talking about it.
Yeah. I think it's like a balance of both, right? It's like having time for yourself, but if you're too on that side and you don't communicate, like I think a lot of like negative aspects of like mental health, like when you start to, maybe have some issues like between years, a lot of that is just lack of communication, and so now that we're all kind of locked up and our social life's been restricted, like making sure you either, if you're with your family, like just having genuine conversations with everyone in your family. If you're alone, like reaching out, like this is like a time in technology where it's so easy to see someone's face. Like you might not be face to face, but like we have 7 people in chat right now, like, and we're all home, but we're communicating. So like finding that balance between like your alone time and keeping your friends close, because this is like we're like fostering a lot of relationships too, like people who you might not see in person, like making sure like even like if you just send them a text, hey, hope everyone's healthy, like that could, it feels good reaching out to people and they feel good getting those texts. So
yeah, I feel like right now I'm actually talking with most of my friends more than I was before this. So before this, like everyone's working, everyone's on their own schedule. It's harder to stay in touch with a lot of people. And right now I find myself either reaching out to a lot more of my friends or getting texts, calls, FaceTime, Zooms from more of my friends, because everyone's got a little more time, and everyone who's either going through stuff or not going through stuff right now is, just looking for a positive outlet. And that's, for a lot of people, just talking with friends. It doesn't have to be about anything serious. It could just be like, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Like I have a friend in California who I haven't seen in like 2 years, and now we text like 2-3 times a week, just seeing how each other are doing. And that's, to me, that's a very positive thing. We don't have to talk about what's going on in the world right now. We could just see how each other's doing and be happy about it. And that's, to me, that's, what's keeping my mental state going real well.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's great that, it seems like everyone's built a list of like go-tos to, give you, some things that are going to make you happy, right? Protect your mental health, right? So what's your go-to? It could be, some alone time, getting out, doing your own thing, getting some silence away from everyone, some meditation, right? Reaching out to someone, having a conversation based on something completely irrelevant to what's going on in the world right now to change things up a bit. Because I know we're probably all hearing about everything that's going on in the world, and at this point you probably don't know what to believe or what's right, what's wrong, what's going on. There's definitely some confusion. So build your list of go-tos of things that are going to help protect your mental health, and that are going to make you happy, right? Because if we're not happy internally, right, it's definitely going to have some type of effect on us, and eventually it'll have a physical effect on you, right? if you're in a bad mindset, you're not going to want to work out. Your body's probably not going to start to feel good. Your sleep's going to get thrown off. You're probably not going to be motivated to put yourself through a regimented or adequate nutrition plan. You'll probably deviate from that. You might want to, drink some more wine or, whatever it is, right? So make sure you're doing those things that are going to help protect your mental health so you can, physically feel better. And that kind of transitions to like our next topic, right? So I think everyone's movement capacity has probably changed quite a bit since this quarantine, right? We're maybe doing a little bit more sitting. We're doing less walking throughout the day because we're home. Our workouts have been, consistent, but, maybe slightly limited to what we're used to based on, the new programming in the virtual setting. So I feel like it's also important to build that list of go-to movements that help you feel good, that make sure that everything's working well, the body's moving well, and you're ready to kind of, feel good throughout the day. And, I'll start with that. For me, it's been showing up to the gym in the morning before virtual class, literally laying on the floor, like knee switches, sideline reaches, cat cows, like just going through like 20 to 30 minutes of some light stretching, has been awesome. And I think has definitely helped with mental health and has physically been very beneficial as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think first it's find out where you have pain or discomfort or where you feel tight. I know a lot of people, they'll say their back, but I think like a tight low back is just tight hips. So like those knee switches are great. I mean, we offer like a couple recovery classes too, if you really have no idea where to start. And there are so many resources out there that it almost shouldn't even be an argument that you don't know what you might have. You should at least have an idea of a way you can approach it. And it's just finding the time, which we should have, right? We touched on that. So it's like, it's getting super nice out. So if you it feels even better stretching in the sun. So if you just want to set a timer for 10 minutes and tell yourself I'm going to move and find where I'm tight and play around for 10 minutes. And then the next time when you do it, you have an idea of where to start because you just, moved everything around. You kind of assessed yourself. So I think just staying mobile in a really stagnant time is big. No matter how much just finding a couple movements that feel good is a good place to start. Just move around, right? And making it a routine. So I have you can call it a challenge or an accountability thing, but me and my buddy, we have you have to do a 10-minute flow when you get out of bed and a 10-minute flow before you get in bed. So whether you're getting out or getting in, you just have to move for 10 minutes. And that could be holding one stretch, 5 minutes each side, or that could be just finding wherever you're tight. But if you find that tough to start, just tell someone, listen, this is what we're going to do starting tomorrow. We're going to start with 1 minute, and it's just a good place to start because it might be tough to keep a rhythm on your own, but if you have someone else doing it, and keeping you accountable, it gets done. And you feel good. No one's ever had bad experiences from moving a little more. I don't think.
Yeah, hopefully we all at this point have seen some improvement in the quality of our movement from the first week, maybe doing the virtual classes. And again, like Steve said, we've got those recovery classes. We've got the hustle and flow class, experience different movement. That's what the body's supposed to be doing, and start to take mental notes of the improvements that you're starting to feel. To our movement queen, Katie, you want to add anything to that?
Just like Steve said, there should be no lack of resources out there. I mean, we have all of our classes recorded. You guys can choose from Just Flow, Active Recovery, Breathe, Stretch, and Shake. The warm-up, you guys know the 10-minute dynamic warm-up, that's designed to get you moving in a healthy way. And there's no secret, right, that movement is linked to endorphins, that it makes us feel better. So there really is just no excuse not to be doing it. And if you don't have time now, tough love, you're lying to yourself. You have time. Everybody has time. And if you don't, your priorities are just not in order. I think For me, I've been, since like you said, John, we've been doing more of our classes, and you know, I don't know, you called me the mobility queen, I don't know. I've like definitely have like a natural ability to be flexible. I don't, you know, I wish I could say that I work really hard at it and like that's what got me there, but just genetics, I guess. But I don't normally participate in like mobility exercises and things like that. I'm ashamed that I don't, but I have been doing the breathe, stretch, and shake class, which is kind of like focused around primal movements, like crawling, getting in touch with the ground, getting grounded. And I was telling you the other day, John, like doing that class, I feel so much more mobile, and like I didn't really feel like that was an issue for me anyhow. So, you know, it's like one of those things, you never know how good it's going to feel until you do it. Like people don't know how shitty they feel when they're eating junk food until they've started to clean things up. You know, people don't know how tired they are until they're getting the proper amount of sleep. So, you know, I think even if you don't think it's an issue for you, give it a try for 2 weeks and just see how your life changes. You know, it's remarkable.
Definitely agree, for sure. All right, so I think it's time we move on to our member of the month, right? So
Air horn.
oh, I want to do the air horn thing. All right, one second.
Yeah.
Air horn, drum roll!
Word of the month, we would like to give to all of the essential workers considered through our whole quarantine. We would like to highlight and thank you all essential workers, as far as everybody in the medical field, nurses, healthcare workers in nursing homes, health clinics, all like essential retail, grocery stores, pharmacies, convenience stores, gas stations, restaurants, essential services, mailing, everybody. We have a very long list, but just everybody that has been working through and through this whole time, we would like to just commend you guys. We thank you guys. We are very grateful for everything that you have done in helping us all get through day to day.
Yes, so thank you very much to all you essential badasses. We appreciate all the hard work you guys are doing. And definitely a big thank you to all of our members, right? It's definitely tough times. I know a lot of friends and acquaintances who are, you know, in the fitness space, and things aren't necessarily going too well for them, right? So I'm grateful to have clients who are still super supportive of Team Moljo during these times, helping us get through these times. You know, we look forward to when things get back to, you know, somewhat normal and having you guys back in the facility, but definitely want to give all of you a big thanks for continuing to support us, support our mission, and supporting us through a very difficult time. And at the end of the day, I'm, you know, very grateful for all of you guys. I'm grateful for the team. And at this point, I'm excited to know that if Team Moljo can survive this, then, you know, our tribe is destined to do bigger and better things in the future. And I'm excited to see what that holds for us. So thank you guys very much. Hope you have an awesome June and hope to see you soon. Rhymed, nice.
You got bars.
Hey.
Oh, give us another one.
Here we go. Strong on three, strong on three. 1, 2, 3.
Fuerte.
Come on.